It's no exaggeration to say that COVID-19 has caused a worldwide crisis. Hundreds of thousands dead, millions infected. Therefore, it's hard to find a silver lining. However, climate change experts believe that the worldwide lockdown could cause positive impacts in the environment.
Shops, offices, restaurants, closed. But with fewer public places open, there's less waste, and fewer cars on the road means less carbon emissions. Dune Ives, Managing Director of Lonely Whale, an organisation driving impactful changes to create a healthier planet, had this to say on COVID-19 and its effect on the environment.
So right now we're seeing skies that aren't peppered with airplanes. We're seeing roads that don't have vehicles traveling on them. We're seeing a lot less noise, a lot less air pollution, and we're seeing what appears to be perhaps a 4% drop in global greenhouse gas emissions. On the plastics front, sadly, I can't say that there's a whole lot of positive. What we're seeing right now from the industry is a lot of rhetoric about how to stop viruses like coronavirus, COVID-19 from spreading. We need to have more single-use plastic in our lives. We're seeing bans on bans. We're seeing states that have passed really forward-looking bans on things like single-use plastic bags starting to revert and to press pauses on those bans. And at the same time, sadly, we're also seeing the recycling infrastructure that was starting to be put in place globally start to slow down a bit, and that can only mean bad things for the ocean and bad things for the rivers. So in terms of skies, yes, things are clearing, we're breathing, it's a moment to kind of pause. But when you see CPG companies really starting to see their products kind of fly off the shelves, these shelf-ready products that are wrapped in single-use plastic that already can't be recycled, then that can only spell, I think, one thing for the ocean, which is more plastic in the seas this coming year.
The UK may be in lockdown, but provided we stick to social distancing guidelines, we can walk to places like these, enjoying forests, lakes and parks. And maybe now that we can really be in awe of what nature has to offer, perhaps now we can really understand how important it is that we protect our environment. Smog drastically reducing in China, canals in Italy becoming unpolluted, a 40% reduction in the levels of the pollutant nitric oxide in our atmosphere compared to this time last year. These are some examples of what the worldwide lockdown is doing to climate change. But the question is, can we really sustain the positive impacts our actions are having? Abina Poku-Aua, CEO of Legacy, a sustainable events agency, isn't so sure.
First of all, 6% reduction in carbon emissions is fantastic, but if we wanted to keep global temperature rise below the 1.5 degrees that scientists and the International Panel on Climate Change say we have to stop catastrophic climate change, we actually need to see about 7.5% decrease every year. And so even 6% is probably not enough to avoid the worst effects that are predicted. But probably as soon as lockdown ends and everyone's allowed out, we're going to see some rebound in carbon emissions. We probably won't get back to where we were before. There is likely to be an economic recession, and that will depress manufacturing outputs, and that will keep carbon emissions lower. But we're probably going to see a bit of a rebound. But hopefully, carbon emissions are one thing, but air pollution is also down hugely. And hopefully now that everyone's got used to working at home and they've realised how much they can do online, hopefully we'll see a world where people don't feel they need to commute to work 5 days a week and they don't need to drive as much. So maybe some of the changes in air pollution will be long-term.
The environmental effects of COVID-19 aren't all positive. The government has given dumping sites the option to remain open or to close. According to the Countryside Alliance, this has resulted in a 300% increase in fly tipping in the UK, leading to a rise in pollution. Therefore, the lockdown measures may be giving us a taste of what an environmentally friendly way of living is like. However, to make any sustainable, long-lasting effect on our environment, we'll have to live sustainably not just today, but long after life under lockdown.